Man, welcome to another edition of Under No Conditions podcast. Man, I am one of two hosts. My name is Isaac Murden. My co-host Tiana White, aka Punky Brewster, is on assignment. Man, she'll be back with us next week. So, what's going on with you guys? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a great day. Today, man, is today that we're going to talk about something that everybody is familiar with, and that is procrastination. Woo, procrastination, man. What's going on? Before we get into procrastination, man, look, what's happening? How's everybody been? Everybody good, man? Everybody's okay? Hope everybody's having a good week so far. I'm hoping everybody that's not letting that stress get that best of them. But as you know, sometimes we just can't help it. Procrastination. So, what is procrastination? Procrastination, man, for me, is a failure. When I think about procrastinating, I think about not doing the necessary tasks or fulfilling the necessary needs that I know I need to need with it, that I know I need to do within myself. Right. So when I do that, when I make the decision to procrastinate, when I make a decision not to fulfill those needs and to do the things that I know I need to do for myself first, me first, I look at that as a for failure. And many times when I think about procrastination for me, I think about it in the past, it was always something that was difficult, or I wasn't willing or hadn't acquired the tools necessary to put in the work necessary to get me through that process. Because a lot of times when we dealing with procrastination, it all boils down to something that we don't want to do. However, the big question is why? Why is it that we don't want to do those things? And it could be anything. It could be something as simple as going to the DMV, not wanting to stand in line, not wanting to deal with the headaches of the clerks. It could be something that's going as far as maybe going to the grocery store, getting up, writing a paper, maybe having to study. It could, just things that are relatable, that a lot of people that are relatable to can understand. Um, Procrastination is something as late as something as simple as, guess what? I'm late for work every day. That's a procrastination. So a lot of times, man, a lot of people, a lot of us, we deal with the fact that, hey, you know what? I know I need to go. I know I need to do the things that I know I need to do. Unfortunately, I don't feel like it. So why don't you feel like it? And for some of us, it's a much deeper issue than really not wanting to feel like doing the things that we need to do. And you are the only one that really knows why. You're the only one that really knows why that you procrastinate, right? And procrastination for some of us is very unhealthy. And my question to you guys, when is procrastination healthy? Or is it healthy? That's the magic question right there. Is procrastination, is it really, really healthy for us? Or is it just one of those situations where, it's unhealthy, we get comfortable in it, and we realize, what, this is something that I do and I don't want to change because I'm comfortable in the procrastination. So I continue to do it anyway. So, that's some of the questions that, we have to ask ourselves when it comes to procrastination. And once again, why? And what are some of the defects of procrastination? Um, Lose your job, missing out on an interview, maybe not getting your car registered, maybe not getting that ID you wanted, maybe procrastinating the house, you missed the bus, or you you promised yourself you were supposed to get there at 10 o'clock, you didn't get there at 12, and then when you get there, you mad. Ain't that something? You missed the appointment. You decide to be procrastinating, not want to get out of bed and do what you need to do, and you get to your appointment, and now you mad. Procrastinating spills not just spills over into one area of your life. Procrastination spills over into every area of your life, believe it or not. And it's scary because what happens, it becomes habit forming. So when we talk about procrastinating, we're also talking about bad habits. Habits that linger on for years and years. And once again, getting back to the comfortability of just you know what? That's who I am. I'm always late. I'm good with that. I'm comfortable with that. Not looking at the effects of what procrastination does. So, um, ask yourself, am I a procrastinator? And why do I procrastinate? And under what circumstances will I procrastinate under? Because what happens is procrastination, when you really look at it, it's a level of failure. It's a level of not wanting to do something. And many times it's the things that we know we need to do. I'm gonna repeat it. I'm gonna continue to repeat it. It's the things that we know that we need to do for ourselves. And many times it hurt us because when we miss an event or we miss an appointment or we decide that we don't feel like doing something, it's not like we're gonna jump right back into it the next day. It's gonna linger on for weeks. And then now we stuck at the last minute trying to figure out how did I get here? And then when we do that, we get frustrated at the thing, the one thing or the things that we've been procrastinating at. And we feel like now because it's my time to do it and I want to do it, everything's supposed to be okay. And it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. I want you guys to think about a time that you procrastinated and it cost you. I can think of many times where I procrastinated personally for me, and at the end of the day, it cost me. Um, Sometimes it might have been a job interview. Sometimes it might have been going to school. Sometimes going to work, being late often because of whatever issue that I was facing within myself. And guess what? And lost the job. Now I want to blame the job instead of really being accountable for the decisions that I've made in that process of just not getting up and doing the thing that I know I'm supposed to do. So procrastination for me, I can't never look at procrastination as something that's healthy. When I think about procrastination, I will always look at it as something that's unhealthy. And sometimes, procrastination is psychological. I had a meeting with a young lady. I'm not going to share her name, and this is the reason why I want to talk about procrastination. And she discussed a issue of having to always be with her parents, and her mother having to be the one to let her know when it was time for her to go. So it gave her the leisure or the pleasure to procrastinate because she always had somebody to remind her, hey, you know what? The bus will be here in 15 minutes. Guess what? Don't you think it's time for you to go to work? Because if you don't leave right now, you're gonna be late. And she discussed with me that happened for years. So she became comfortable in that procrastination. And sorry to say, um, she lost her parent and she was finding out she found herself alone. So she found herself not having that crutch that she's been having for so many years to remind her, when it's time to work, when it's time to get go to work, when it's time to catch the bus. Today you got to go to the doctor. You got a doctor's appointment. So, we was having a consult, and she said, Isaac, I'm late for everything. She said, you know, she said, I can be at work, supposed to be at work at 1 o'clock, and I'll get there at 3. And she always felt like if she had that extra 2 or 3 minutes in between the time that she's supposed to leave, she could take that 2 or 3 minutes and do something else. So I asked her, what is it about getting to places on time and being efficient that bothered you the most? And she couldn't tell me. And the only thing she could go back to is, I always had my mom there to tell me what I needed to do. So her mother was the crutch. And that's something that she depended on. She totally depended on the fact that her mother was going to be there to tell her what to do. Now we're talking about an adult to remind her things that She should be reminding herself and things that should be important in her life. Unfortunately, that wasn't happening. And when she lost her parent, she just went into a whirlwind. And in the process of that, she most definitely conveyed to me, shared with me that she's lost many jobs. Very bright, very educated young lady. And the fact that she can get jobs right away based on, what she was doing and what she did, she feels like she can continue to procrastinate because she can continue to get these jobs and gain employment real quick so she doesn't feel the loss of losing the job. And I expressed to her, I said, all good things come to an end. It's going to be a moment in your career as you get older, as things change in your career, as cycles change, as management change, as policies and procedures change, and rules and regulations change throughout facilities and how they function. The fact that you are an excessive procrastinator, you're gonna pay for it. And she looked at me. I was like, and you're gonna pay for it because it's gonna be a time where your education and your minimal experiences is not gonna be enough. It's really just gonna come down to your character, your on time performance. Because in that process, every job that she's gone to, she's resigned or she was terminated. But she also didn't want the new job to call her old job for reference. So that was a whole nother conversation that we had. And I asked her, I said, I know that you've always had a crutch. And that was something that you depended on. But you're at a point right now where you need to start depending on yourself, even if it means that you need to get up 15 minutes earlier and do the things that you need to do. Do some things at night prior to in the morning. So those things that you normally do in the morning, if you did them at night, you won't have to worry about that. That way you can focus on more, um, really kind of getting yourself in a place where you can leave to go to work. It's funny, we had talked about Alexa, and she was like, "Yeah, I used Alexa." And I got to a point where I started getting frustrated because Alexa was always telling me, it's time to go. So she was like, I turned Alexa off. And I thought that was amazing because in her mind, yes, she knew that Alexa was right, but it was a point that, she just got frustrated of her own self. And one of the things that I expressed to her in her level of procrastination is that she has to get out of her own way. And a lot of times when we procrastinate, that's exactly what happened. We stand in our own way. So man, I just wanted to come in here for a few minutes. I didn't want to be long. Just like I say, my co-host is on assignment. She'll be back with us next week. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about procrastination and how it hurts us more than it helps us. And even for me, it's something that I work on every day. Um, my routine is pretty solid. Sometimes I get out of my routine. However, I like to be able to say that I'm always aware of the time and the things that I need to do. And I just work on it every day. And it gets easier and easier. If you guys have any thoughts, any questions, any comments, any feedback, feel free to comment on the video. Email us at uncpodcast@gmail.com. You can also email me personally at Isaac, ISAAC, the den at gmail.com. The den will have a new time, which will be July the 3rd at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, the den is returning, and I am so excited about that. We're going to have some incredible guests. We're going to have some solo shows. And I'm working on so we can even have some audio um workshops that we can have some guests come in and we all can brain trust and put our minds together and hopefully teach somebody something. And in the process, we can teach each other something. So if ain't nobody tell you they love you today, I love you guys. This is your boy Isaac, aka the finisher. Guess what? I am out. Your boy Iceman loves you, and I'll be talking to you soon. Peace.